Good day, fellow bettors. Thank you for joining me for another video for your German Bundesliga betting tips and predictions. Today, I will share with you my predictions and tips on the match result, correct score, prediction over and under total goals, which in turn will give you the expected number of goals in this particular game, in the particular games that I'll be giving my predictions on, which are all the games. Also, I will share with you my betting tips on the handicap system as well. Alright, so for this here game week, we are going to start with Augsburg versus Hoffenheim. And for Augsburg versus Hoffenheim, I'm expecting a draw here. Otherwise, outside of the draw, I think Hoffenheim could maybe spring up and surprise us. They haven't been on an awful run of late, so I'm expecting a draw here, both teams to score. So I'm expecting a scoring draw here. In terms of my predicted scoreline, I'm going to say we should have a 1-all scoreline here. On the handicap system, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to... Well, we're not going to have a bet on the handicap system this time around because I have a 1-all draw. But if I were to take a bet on the handicap system, I'll go with a draw also. Augsburg winning by a goal, and I'll take a draw based on the three-way handicap system. Alright. So in terms of another prediction that you could take, you could also go with, in terms of the double chance, that is, I would say we go with let me just show you here. I'm looking for, yes, draw and under 4.5 goals in total. Alright, so let's just go ahead and give you a quick recap here, folks. Augsburg versus Hoffenheim. I'm expecting this one to end in a draw, and that's $3.50 if that should happen based on the current odds. I'm expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of my correct scoreline prediction, I'm saying we should have a 1-all draw here for between these two teams, yeah. And in terms of double chance bet, I go with a draw and under 4.5 goals in total for the game. Alright, so those are my predictions for Augsburg versus Hoffenheim. And now we're going to move on to our next game, which is Bochum versus Freiburg. And for Bochum versus Freiburg, I'm expecting Bochum to take the win here, and I'm expecting both teams not to score. In terms of a double chance, I go with either team to win and both not to score. In terms of my correct score prediction, I'm going to go with a 1-0 victory here for Bochum. So I'm expecting Bochum to win this one 1-0. In terms of handicap system, as you know, we're going to use the three-way handicap system, and I'm going to take Bochum to win by a goal, but we're going to take a draw here based on my predicted scoreline. Alright, folks. So, quick recap for Bochum versus Freiburg. I'm expecting Bochum to win here, $3. And I'm expecting both teams not to score as well, and that's $2.10 if that should happen. In terms of a double chance, I'm going with Bochum or Freiburg to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline, Bochum winning this 1-0, and that's $10 in terms of the odds currently. Alright, in terms of the handicap system, I'll go ahead and take a draw on that, and that's $4.50 if you want to go down that road on the handicap system, that is. Alright, so those are my predictions for Bochum versus Freiburg, and now we're going to move on to our next game, and our next game will be Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Bayern Munich. And for Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Bayern Munich, I'm expecting here Bayern Munich to take this one home, Bayern Munich to win, both teams not to score. In terms of double chance, I'll go with either team to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying Bayern Munich wins this one 3-0. In terms of the handicap system, I'm going to go ahead and take Bayern Munich to win this one by a goal. So handicap system, Bayern Munich to win by a goal. Alright, let's go ahead and give you a quick recap. Alright, so for this game here, Bayern Munich versus Borussia Mönchengladbach, I'm expecting Bayern Munich to win at $1.37, straight up that is. And in terms of both teams scoring, I'm saying no, that should not be the case, and that's $2.40 if that should occur in this game currently, based on the current odds, that is. And in terms of double chance, I go with either team to win and both not to score, and that's $2.60 in terms of the odds. And predicted scoreline, correct scoreline predictions here now, folks. Get your pens and your papers out for this. I'm saying Bayern Munich wins this one 3-0, and that's $10 in terms of odds. Yeah. In terms of the handicap system, I'm going to go ahead and take Bayern Munich to win this one by a goal, and that's $1.95, right? Based on the current odds. Yes, so those are my predictions for Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Bayern Munich, and now we're going to move on over to Stuttgart versus Cologne. And for Stuttgart versus Cologne here now, I'm expecting this one to end in a draw. So let's just clear this here and give you my predictions. So Stuttgart versus Cologne, I'm expecting it to end in a draw. This one to end in a draw, and I'm going to see we're going to have a scoring draw here. So I'm expecting a 2-all draw here. And in terms of handicap system, I'll go ahead and I'll say a draw on under 4.5. That's not the handicap, I should say. On the handicap system, we're not going to take a bet based on my predicted scoreline. So we're just going to do a double chance here, and that's it. All right. So quick recap now for Stuttgart versus Cologne. I'm expecting this one to end in a draw, and that's $3.30 if that should happen. In terms of both teams scoring, I'm saying yes, that should be the case, and that's $1.66. In terms of the odds, in terms of the correct scoreline prediction here now, folks, I have a 2-all draw, and that's $12 if that should occur in this game here. All right. In terms of a double chance, you can go with a draw and under 4.5 goals in total in this game. And for me, those are my predictions for Stuttgart versus Cologne, and then we're going to move on to our next game. The next game will be Wolfsburg versus RB Leipzig. And for Wolfsburg versus RB Leipzig, now I'm expecting this one to be an interesting one. Wolfsburg they've picked back. I'm not going to use the term picked up the pace, but they're performing way better nowadays, and so it should be a way more interesting game. Yeah, and so therefore RB Leipzig, I'm going to take RB Leipzig to win here, and I'm going to say both teams to score. In terms of a double chance, I'll go with either team to win and both to score. Alright, predicted scoreline, I'm saying RB Leipzig wins this one 2-1. Alright, in terms of the handicap system, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take RB Leipzig to win by a goal to take a draw based on the 3-way handicap system. Alright, so let's go ahead and give that a quick recap now, folks. So for Wolfsburg versus RB Leipzig, I'm expecting RB Leipzig to win here at $2.15, and also expecting both teams to score. In terms of a double chance, I'll go with either team to win and both to score, and that's $2.50 if you should take that bet currently. And in terms of the correct score line prediction, I'm saying 2-1 here in favor of RB Leipzig, and that's $8.50. And in terms of handicap system, I'm going to go ahead and take a draw, and that's $4 in terms of the odds. Yeah. So those are my predictions for RB Leipzig versus Wolfsburg, and now we're going to move on over to Eintracht Frankfurt versus Werder Bremen. And for Eintracht Frankfurt versus Werder Bremen, I'm expecting Eintracht to take care of business here, and also I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a double chance, I go with either to win and both to score. Yes. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying Eintracht wins this one 3-1. In terms of the handicap system, I'm going to go ahead. No, folks, I'm going to take Eintracht to win this one by a goal. Alright, so let's just roll back up and give you a quick recap of our predictions for Eintracht Frankfurt versus Werder Bremen. And for Eintracht Frankfurt versus Werder Bremen here, I'm expecting Eintracht Frankfurt to win at $1.60. And in terms of both teams scoring, I'm saying yes, that should be the case. In terms of a double chance bet, now you could go with either team to win and both to score, and that's $2.25 in terms of the odds, so please make a note of that. Also make a note of the correct scoreline prediction here. I'm saying Eintracht Frankfurt win this one 3-1 rather, in 3-1, and that's $11 in terms of the odds. Yeah. Also on the handicap system, I'm going to go and take Eintracht Frankfurt to win this one by a goal, and that's $2.50. Alright, so those are my predictions for Eintracht Frankfurt versus Werder Bremen, and now we're going to move on over to our next game, and the next game will be Union Berlin versus Schalke. And Union, they have been doing really well at home of late, and so therefore, not of late, but for the most part for the season, they have been doing well at home, and I think I'm expecting them to continue to do so, and so hence I will take in Union Berlin to win here at home, both teams not to score. And in terms of double chance, I'll go with either to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm going to take Union to win this one by a goal, otherwise I'd say they might win 2-0, but I'm going to take them to win by a goal here. In terms of the handicap system, go ahead, take Union to win by a goal here, but we're going to take a draw based on our prediction. Alright, so let's roll up and give you our recap for Union Berlin versus Schalke. For Union Berlin versus Schalke, I'm expecting Union Berlin to win at $1.57. Both teams not to score. In terms of a double chance bet, I'll go with either team to win and both not to score. That's $2.05 if that should happen. In terms of the correct scoreline prediction, now I'm saying we should have a 1-0 victory here for Union Berlin over Schalke. And in terms of the handicap system, I'm going to go ahead and take a draw. Alright, so those are my predictions for Union versus Schalke, and that's how the cookie crumbles. So now we're going to move on over to our next game here now, and our next game will be Borussia Dortmund versus Hertha Berlin. And for Borussia Dortmund versus Hertha Berlin, I'm expecting Borussia Dortmund to take care of business here. So Borussia Dortmund to win for me, and both teams to score. In terms of double chance, I go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying Borussia Dortmund wins this one, 3-1. In terms of the handicap system, now I'm going to go ahead and take Borussia Dortmund to win this game by a goal. Alright, and so let's just give you a quick recap now for Borussia Dortmund versus Hertha Berlin, and I'm expecting Borussia Dortmund here to win at $1.30. I'm expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of a double chance, I'd say either to win and both to score, and that's $2.30. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying 3-1 here in favor of Borussia Dortmund, and that's $10 if this scoreline should come through. And in terms of the handicap system, I'm going to go ahead and take Borussia Dortmund to win this one by a goal. Alright, folks, so let's jump on over to our next game, and our next game will be Bayern Leverkusen versus Mainz. The Bayern Leverkusen versus Mainz, and this is our final game for this year game week. Bayern Leverkusen versus Mainz. Bayern Leverkusen being at home, I'm expecting Bayern Leverkusen to take care of business here. Mainz usually plays well enough to hold out, and so therefore I'm expecting both teams to score here. And in terms of double chance, I go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I'm saying Bayern Leverkusen wins this one, 2-1. In terms of the handicap system, we're going to jump straight ahead. The basis being Leverkusen winning by a goal, but we're going to have to take a draw here based on my predicted scoreline. Alright, so quick recap, Bayern Leverkusen versus Mainz. I'm expecting Bayern Leverkusen to win here at $1.72. In terms of both teams scoring, I'm saying yes, that should be the case. In terms of a double chance, I go with either team to win and both to score, and that's $2.50 if that should happen. In terms of the correct scoreline prediction, I'm saying Bayern Leverkusen wins this one, 2-1 over Mainz, and that's $8 if that should happen. Alright. In terms of the handicap system, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a draw here, and that's $3.75. Alright. So those are my predictions for Bayern Leverkusen, and these are all my predictions for your German Bundesliga for this week, my predictions and betting tips. And also, folks, as I say, thank you for joining me once again, and great luck betting, and have a blessed weekend. Thank you.